They coast, shy away from breaking new ground when the call comes. They choose instead to stay in the comfort of their own respective Plato's cave, passing up life's opportunities to grow and evolve by way of those new challenges offered, dismissing the challenges of the unknown calling. Their regret at having passed up these challenges offered is clear to see, however, and no more so than when they look upon someone who has done otherwise, who has accepted life's challenges, who has been outside and learned of that which lies beyond the confines of the cave walls within which they have remained. Having watched this dynamic play out with near perfect predictability in my own life and those around me for a couple of decades now, I think I can say with some confidence today that those who stay safe in their respective Plato's caves are, one way or another, never at peace with that choice, and their frustration at their confined experience and resulting perception only grows as the years pass, for the call to step outside the cave does not abate with time as perhaps they hoped. No, quite the reverse. It grows until it bellows insistently, terrifyingly, in anything and everything glimpsed beyond the boundaries of that familiar to them. Though once feeling it a curse, for it distanced me from many, and lost me no few friends too along the way, I feel blessed today to have grown to represent with some confidence now that which can provoke those feelings of regret in those remaining in their cave. That regret can be seen manifest in many different ways. Exactly how it manifests itself depends on the individual, but it invariably makes itself apparent one way or another. The self-aware will be honest about it, and those of them who wish to learn to find the courage to step outside their cave will be drawn to those who have done it. Some, however, will bury themselves in work. Some fall into the bottle. Some dope themselves down. Others will grow bitter and avoid those who have ventured where they do not dare tread, who show them up in that respect. And some will eventually stop thinking altogether, beyond the everyday, and so become exiled from their own minds, since any thinking they may do will invariably lead to that which they cannot muster the courage to face. The ever-present challenge, then, of acknowledging their refusal to accept the challenge. You'll see them staring out across the world then, blank-faced, the final expression of those proven too cowardly to face the challenges they were offered that might otherwise have beckoned them toward growth, understanding, meaning, satisfaction, and a better life. To me, then, these days, an ability to summon courage when it is needed is really the defining quality that governs how one's life turns out. Those who find that courage seem to arrive in a good place, or are blessed when they succeed in summoning that courage at least. This, to me, is then a general law of life that applies to all. Of course, the particulars of those challenges served each of us varies greatly, but the underlying principle governing the process there represented remains the same. Choose to remain safe and stagnate, or choose to move toward that which takes you away from the known, the familiar, the comfortable, the convenient, the predictable, and there grow. The hardest times of my life, the worst experiences, those which I have suffered the most from, and for the longest periods, the biggest messes I've got myself into, all began with a failure in me to act with courage when that challenge arrived. When I refused to do or say something I instinctively knew correct, and yet which the greater part of me feared to place out in the open. When I could not bear the perceived cost of thus acting with courage, despite knowing deep down that which I was then being asked to give up was destructive or corrupted somehow. Thankfully, such moments of failure are in the minority in my life. But the wreckage ensuing from those few episodes where my courage failed me stands out in that story all the more as a result. The drawn-out downward spirals after these moments of weakness is likewise strikingly clear to me today, and the reason things went awry no less. The moment my courage failed me is writ clear in retrospect. Indeed, often I saw it at the time, but chose to pretend otherwise. No less clear is the fact that the ensuing downward spiral invariably continued until a day I eventually regained my backbone and said or did that which contradicted the temperate, the moderate, the domesticated, or the reasonable in me. And so, at long last, allowed myself to step beyond whatever it was that I was trying to maintain, beyond its sell-by date, and so came back around to face that which I had disregarded or delayed for the easy life. To me, then, it seems that there is a curious law of nature represented in the dynamic I describe here. That is, that if something demands courage, it seems invariably to point firmly towards something good, right, and true, to a path leading to something I need to learn, to somewhere I'll be blessed with peace and better understanding in due course. And the price for that peace, always, is walking directly towards that which I most fear, that which threatens conflict to the peaceable in me, that which the temperate part of me deems foolish, that which the coward in me names too dangerous. And so this is why the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end when all around me began repeating the mantra, "Stay safe." I shall never stay safe. No, my peace, my satisfaction, my knowledge, my meaning, my abilities learned, my love too, in fact, everything making my life worth living depends upon me enduringly resisting the command of that cowardly little worm in my head that says, "Stay safe," and instead pushing myself, despite my fears, come what may, to stay dangerous.
Coming very soon to subscribers on my channel. A feature-length presentation 6 months in the making, my magnum opus work, The Bliss of Britain.
I love to go a-wandering along the mountain crag.
I wish to present to you here a collection of thoughts, ideas, indeed revelations that have occurred to me since I left the confines of what is traditionally called civilized society some 3 years ago.
There is a blissful beauty on offer from the world, and you get given a choice. Do you want to take this blissful beauty, this content, this exceedingly wholesome goodness, and fill yourself with that, all the riches, all of that nutritious goodness that's on offer? Do you wish to take that, fill yourself to the brimming with that? Or do you want to fill your mind with tales of all these people who have got lost down a cul-de-sac, detached, full of fear and distaste?
Here I wish to lay before you something beautiful. This is the bliss of Britain.
Now, deep in the British jungle,
Jesse Watson.